This is the voice of the Patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Now here we are not neutral because we have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we are affectionately called the headquarters of the truth. My brother, my sister, today we have a number of issues we want to look at, and I need you to come along. This is the voice of the Patriot, our daily editorial, where we speak truth to power. Now share the broadcast so many more people can be part of this caboodle. My name is Blakk Rasta. Now the very first story we want to look at today is taken from Ghana Web. And it says, no one will live like Alan did. And this is KT Hammond warning NPP presidential aspirants. And I read, former member of parliament for Adansia Sokwa, Kwabena Tahir Hammond, has cautioned new patriotic party flag bearer aspirants not to attempt leaving the party after the presidential primaries scheduled for January 2026. Now, according to him, the party will not tolerate a repeat of what happened in 2023 when former Trade and Industry Minister Alan Tremartin resigned from the NPP after losing the party's flag bearer race. Speaking on Oyiripa TV, KT Hammond stressed that the party would not entertain any form of what he described as nonsense that could destroy the unity and cohesion of the party. Know how to go about your campaign so that we can elect our new flag bearer peacefully. After the primaries, nobody will be allowed to leave the party after using it for their personal gain. It won't happen like what Alan did. Alan is not coming back to the party, so nobody should think of breaking away. He warned. A party that warns people from exercising their democratic rights is not a political party, it's a cult. Are you occultist or what? Do you drink blood in the NPP? Do you slaughter animals and bath in their blood? It's the democratic right of every member of the party to either remain or exit. A party that claims it's a luminary party, a party that claims that it holds on to the tenets of democracy, is becoming democracy. What is wrong with this party? As for this KT Hammond man, I think that he has a condition that is called andropos. My brother, my sister, and I have looked at him very closely. These days, any kind of utterance he makes either falls short of common sense or is some brazen foolhardiness. Can I go deeper? Do we all remember this was the same politician who all of a sudden forgot the tenets of politics, that it is a numbers business? He went out insulting the numbers, the masses. He told them they had coconut heads and they couldn't rule, and that they're the old men, they are the wise ones and they can rule. Having insulted the youth like this, forming the bedrock and the majority of the nation, he expected that they would vote for him because they fear him. They voted against him and kicked him out. I thought from that time he would have picked up a few lessons. But it looks like no. My brother, my sister, He went to court challenging the results of the election. The same man who took the matter to court refused to go to court. At the end of the day, the court was forced to pronounce judgment without him ever going there. Why did you go to court if you are not ready for the judgment? Now, listen to what he said. All the flag bearers should bear in mind, we will not allow them to leave the party like Alan did. You cannot use the party to your benefit and right after that you exit. For him, this is nonsense. He could have said this in another way. How could he have said it? We do not expect any flag bearer aspirant to exit the party like Alan did after the election. We expect that you will stay and help unite the party. We expect that you would build a stronger front. If today you couldn't make it, doesn't mean that you will not make it tomorrow. Seen? But no. The man who claims all the youth in Ghana have coconut heads is becoming a cult leader. Nobody would leave this party the way Alan did. The nonsensical way Alan left the party. We won't allow that nonsense. You can't use the party to your benefit and after that you exit. No, we will not allow that. It's their democratic right. And the Constitution of Ghana guarantees that. You can belong or unbelong to any society that you wish. My brother, my sister, an association that binds you from living is not ordinary. It is a cult. Well, Canada, Japan has already warned that should the elections not go his way via rigging, he would be worse than Alan. In other words, he might not only leave the party, but he will pull down the tenets and the foundations of the party. He has warned already. Maybe that is why KT Hammond is talking the way he's talking. But my brother, it is his democratic right to do that. To leave or to stay. That is the beauty of every society, every organization. It is only a cult where people drink blood and do blood covenants. That is why they tell you no matter what, you must stay in. That is why I don't believe in this for better, for worse thing. I personally do not believe in for better, for worse. No. It's like a cult. No. I should be able to move out if the kitchen is so hot. Whoever is with me should be able to move out should the kitchen be too hot. We all have common sense. We should be able to decipher what is good for us. I can't continue being in a for better, for worse thing, and all I see is the worst and not the better. And you say I should continue being in it? A lady gets married to a hopeless drunkard. She has done everything possible to get this drunkard sober. He is not sobering. He brings home all the latest prostitutes in town. Should I wait until I catch HIV/AIDS before I become wise? And when he comes home, as if he was going for a boxing match, preparing for a boxing match at the Olympics, I become his punching bag. He beats me up morning, afternoon, evening. The only time I don't get a beating is in the night when he comes home drunk to stupor. And even with that, he comes in with a baggage, a prostitute. Every night, a new prostitute. Should I still stay and continue praying? That's why I don't believe in for better or worse. I don't know how many people believe in that, but I don't believe in that. I believe in a civil relationship where we use our common sense. My brother, my sister, if it is good enough, we stay in there. After all, we are here together to be able to make it better for ourselves and the offsprings that we may have. If it's going the other direction, why stay? Abena Osei-Asare vows to fight intimidation, focus on accountability. And I read, now the member of parliament for the Tiwa East constituency in the eastern region, Abena Osei-Asare, has responded to a critics who claim she lacks the moral right to preside over the public account committee. Now, the former deputy finance minister declared that nothing could deter her from fulfilling a constitutional mandate as chairperson of the public accounts committee. Now, according to her, she will not allow anyone to intimidate and talk down on her, despite being the norm for women who do their best in achieving greater heights in the political space. She reiterated her commitment to remaining focused and working diligently to reshape the narrative of the Public Accounts Committee and ensure that those managing government institutions are held accountable for any misuse of state funds. To be very honest with you, I enjoy seeing Abena Osei-Asare talking. She's quite fluent. I like how she's trying to hold people accountable. But in my opinion, she doesn't have the moral right to be where she is, period. It's not about competence. It's about the moral right, the morality of what she is doing. A thief cannot be a policeman. Policing who? Other thieves? He doesn't have the moral right. A pastor who has a pornographic hub. A pastor who has a reputation bar. A pastor who has a gang of thieves stealing for him has no moral right to pastor any church. It's not about how well he preaches. It's not about how good he looks. It's about the morality of what he is doing. Can we get it straight? Abena Osei-Asare does not have the moral right to do what she's doing in parliament, and we've made it clear on other platforms. My brother, my sister, A+ drew our attention to this woman's lackluster performance. And when we looked at it, we realized that we were missing something. The woman has been involved in activities that brought shame to this country. My brother, my sister, she was a member of the finance ministry, not an ordinary member. But, my brother, my sister, she was the deputy minister of finance. Please dash away the photo. You understand? Deputy finance minister. And under their regime, we saw a lot of controversies hitting left, right, and center. And a lot of them, my brother, my sister, are being investigated. If she had any moral standing, I am sure that having seen that there's a lot of investigation going into a lot of controversies whilst you were in office, she should have excused herself. If I were her, I would do that. But no, she's here backing. I will stand for my right. It's because I'm a woman. That is why they are doing this. What kind of a joke is this? Today in Ghana, Any female thief who is apprehended, oh, they are calling me a thief because I'm a woman. The gender card is unnecessarily being played every now and then. What has this got to do with women? Your regime was supposedly a thieving one. It was a kleptodom, and that's my own word. It was a kingdom of thieves, allegedly. That is why it is being investigated. There's a certain wrongdoing. So, the courts are looking at some of them. Investigators have told us that there was a wrongdoing. The Beijing Jiao controversy is still hanging around the necks of these people like an albatross. My brother, my sister, the SML, people like Patriot have come out to say that this is the mother of all scandals. They paid themselves allegedly for no work done. The office of the special prosecutor has slapped charges left, right, and center, and is looking for your boss, who is now a fugitive. If I were this woman, I would shut up. The man that you worked under has become a fugitive, running away from justice, lying to the people of Ghana. You joined us with him, and together you quoted verses of the Bible and played holier than thou. We saw the whole ministry that you were a key member of build us an empty hole. An empty hole. My brother, my sister, today is one of the biggest controversies in our history. And you still have the effrontery. I'm a woman. Because I'm a woman, I will not allow any intimidation. If I were a member of this committee, I will resign immediately until this woman is taken out. 2, if I were to sit in front of this woman and be questioned, I will be mute. I won't open my mouth. Yes, I will be demonstrating against her presence there. What moral right does she have to sit there? And here she is, instead of reclusing herself, is that the correct word? Instead of excusing herself, my brother, my sister, she is telling us that because she's a woman, people are trying to intimidate her. When you were in the ministry, the youngest to ever be in that ministry as a deputy, you were only 38 at the time you entered there. This woman was born on the 16th of January 1979. She was born in Achim, Eastern region. 38. At the time you were put in there, did you play the gender card? You enjoyed it and you said it was on merit. You should be ashamed that you and your boss supervised over the dwindling of this economy into oblivion. The economy performed the poorest. The economy was so terrible, we went around borrowing. You gave unprofessional, dirty haircuts to our fathers and mothers. You are not ashamed of this? If I were this woman, I will not sit down and be doing what I'm doing right now. What a joke. Look at all the controversies in your tenure of office. Today, you have the moral right to sit down and talk and ask people to account for their stewardness. Is it not a joke? Or am I being too emotional? What is happening to us as a people? It's a pure joke. The other people who are part of the PAC, I call on you not to talk when you go there. Sit down and look at her in the face. When she asks a question, don't answer. Any other member who asks you may answer, but not to this one. She doesn't have the moral right to do that. Investigations are going on. I understand that investigations are not done yet, but investigations don't have to be complete before you excuse yourself. When there's an investigation into serious issues like that, what do? We excuse ourselves, at least till the investigations are over. Cecilia Dapa did it. When we found millions under a bed and in rat holes, what did? We went after her. She resigned to allow for investigations. This one says, nobody's going to intimidate me. Nobody would intimidate me because I'm a woman. Hey, stop this joke and get out. I leave it here.